What's the story, lads? Thanks for checking out my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about what the best things are about living in Dublin. I can probably provide some good perspective on what those are, as I'm originally from Dublin myself, but I've spent some time abroad. I'll probably do a follow-up to this on the worst things about living in Dublin, so stay tuned for that. First up on the list is something that probably wouldn't come to mind too quickly for a local, but it's our culture and rich history. This is something that millions of people from all around the world come to Ireland for each year to experience. Not just in Dublin, but across the country, you'll constantly find yourself surrounded by historical landmarks and artifacts, some that date back to thousands of years into the Stone Age. There's also a pretty well-renowned art scene in Ireland. We have many world-renowned actors, writers and musicians that have come from here over the years. It's probably something you don't take too much notice of growing up here, but once you leave, it's kind of cool to see the appreciation that people around the world have for Irish culture. Next up on the list has to be the people, hands down. This may be a bit of a biased take from me, but in all my travels across the world, I've never met people that are genuinely so friendly, kind and approachable, and it makes day-to-day life here so much more pleasant for the most part. I'm not saying you can't have a negative experience interacting with people here, but most of the time people are really sound. Another great thing about living here in Dublin, I would say, is the extensive flight network that exists here. If you think about it from a geographical sense, Ireland is pretty nicely located. 6-7 hours west, you can hit the east coast of North America, and in the same time going east, you can reach the Middle East or some parts of Asia. Also from Dublin, you can reach most major European capitals within a 2 to 3 hour flight, and it's pretty low cost. We have airlines like Ryanair and Aer Lingus that offer budget friendly travel options. This next one is probably pretty obvious, but I would say it's our nature. Ireland is commonly known as the Emerald Isle for its green rolling hills. In Dublin, you pretty much have it all on your doorstep. You're never really more than 30 to 45 minutes away from the sea, the beach, national park, mountains to go hiking. So yeah, whatever you want in terms of nature, it's very, very accessible. Just south of Dublin, you have Wicklow, which is known as the Garden of Ireland. The nature there is absolutely beautiful also, and yeah, just a short drive away from Dublin. Yeah, for this one, I'm probably not talking about Irish food or Irish cuisine itself, if you want to call it that, but more the quality of food and the variety that you can get here. There's a pretty good selection of restaurants here in Dublin, in fairness, even though some of them can be quite pricey. And yeah, across the board, I'd say the quality is pretty high, especially for things that are made here in Ireland, like, our dairy, some of our meats. But yeah, for the most part, any type of food that you want, you can get it here in Dublin. Yeah, this next one is probably something that doesn't come to mind, or, something that we might take for granted here, but it's education. Yeah, sadly, in many places around the world, it's not something that's accessible to everybody. It's usually reserved for people with money or status. But here it's actually accessible to everyone regardless of your background, you know, if you want to take advantage of it. I was actually talking to a colleague about this recently from India, and even he was saying that both the level and the cost of education here is phenomenal. This probably follows on from last point, but it's probably no surprise that Ireland has a pretty strong labour market at the moment. I know the state of our economy is influenced a lot by all of the multinational companies that base themselves here, but across the board we've pretty high employment rates. From a personal standpoint, you know, I've never actually struggled to find work here ever in my life. Um, yeah, yeah, it's something that even, you know, other European countries struggle with. Compared to Ireland, I have friends from, you know, Portugal, Spain, Italy that found it very hard to find full-time work in their home countries. You know, it might have just been seasonal work or part-time jobs. So yeah, I'd say that's kind of one thing that's a big positive about living in Dublin. This next one's probably a little bit random, and a lot of people probably don't care about it, but um, yeah, I would say our relatively balanced political landscape is something quite positive about living here. Probably comes to mind because, you know, you see a lot of countries right now experiencing like deep political polarization, but I haven't really found a huge amount of that here in Ireland. You get like moderate swings in people's preferences, but generally across the board I feel like we're quite progressive. We've a multi-party system here, and coalition governments are pretty much the norm rather than the exception. We have a proportional representation in elections here, so even like the smaller parties can have a voice in government, and it overall prevents dominance of any one ideology. Anyway, I'll move on from this one before I put you to sleep. Some people may have mixed views on this at the moment, but by global standards, Ireland is a very, very safe country. Crime does exist here as it does in any other country, and you always want to take precautions everywhere you go to keep yourself safe. But across the board, it's a very safe place. Right, I'm going to end on a controversial one because us Irish are well known for complaining about the weather here. Don't get me wrong, I love the sun and a bit of heat on my holidays, but living in it day to day can be unbearable. I don't know if it's just like my genetic makeup because I'm Irish, but I just can't hack it when I have to do regular, normal, everyday things in the heat. I'm pumping sweat all the time. I'm absolutely knackered. All the bugs that come with the hot weather, the mosquitoes, the flies, the cockroaches. Yeah, I'm just not made for it. As I said, it's great when you're sitting by the pool, but you know, when you have to go to work, do day to day, mundane stuff in it, it's horrible. So yeah, for the most part, I'll take the cool, dull and damp weather that you get here. And if I need to change it up and get a bit of sun, I guess I don't have to travel too far to get it. So there you have it, folks. Those are the best things about living in Dublin, in my opinion. Of course, it's no perfect place, but there is a reason why people love coming here and want to make it their home. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other future videos that I upload. Also, if you live in Dublin or if you visited, let me know in the comments what your favourite things are about this city. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.